What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Fuel channel where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give our takes on the Miami Dolphins. Very important day today in the NFL, as today was roster cut day. Every single team, all 32 teams in the NFL, had to trim their roster from 90 to 53 players on the team. Very hard decisions had to be made. Some good players were cut today. Players were signed today from the Dolphins, and we have players that are hurt, of course, because that is a never-ending story with the Miami Dolphins. So we have a lot to get into. So much stuff happened today. So we are literally going to jump right into it immediately. If you haven't already, be sure to go ahead and check out Saturday night's post-game recap for the final preseason game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. It'll be up in the last 20 seconds of this video. If you guys want to go check it out, you can. But I'm flipped the page. It is on to the regular season. So we have so much to talk about. We're going to talk about the players that were cut. We're going to talk about the initial, keyword initial 53-man roster. We're going to talk about players that were injured. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is Rasul Douglas, because it finally happened. The Dolphins signed cornerback Rasul Douglas today. 1 year, $3 million. So that's the last thing we are going to talk about tonight when it comes to the Dolphins. So today, I'm reading this right off the Miami Dolphins front page. So today, the Miami Dolphins announced they have released. Now, here's the difference. When I say waived and released, the difference is if you're released, you're a free agent, okay? You are more than likely not going to be coming back on the practice squad. You're available to be picked up by another team. If you're waived, you're eligible to be picked up by another team as well. But that's like, hey, we want you on the practice squad, so we're going to waive you and then get you back on the practice squad tomorrow. Which I'm sure most of these players that were waived today are going to end up on the Dolphins practice squad. So the Miami Dolphins announced today that they have released cornerback Carnell Armstrong, linebacker Quentin Bell, which I'm not surprised by that one, running back Mike Boone, tight end Pharaoh Brown, which gave you all the indication that with Pharaoh Brown being cut, Tanner Conner was going to make the 53-man roster. Tackle Jackson Carman, good riddance. Cornerback Cameron Dantzler. Defensive tackle Matt Dickerson. Corner Mike Hilton. So they brought Mike Hilton in for depth. He was going to be a potential starter, but then on Saturday night, when the starters were out there, Mike Hilton was not the slot corner. Jason Marshall was. They went with Jason Marshall over Mike Hilton. So that shows you that they are going with youth and young players, develop young players instead of old vets like Mike Hilton. And I kind of want to talk about that when we get to this 53-man roster. Tight end Chris Merrick and corner Kendall Sheffield. So those are the players that Miami cut today. And then these are the players that were waived. Now, we're going to talk about my biggest surprises, and we're going to talk about players that I would love to see back on this team as we go. The team also waived cornerback B.J. Adams, wide receiver Andrew Armstrong, offensive lineman Mason Brooks, offensive lineman Braden Daniels, wide receiver Eric Ezukama, could be an end of an era. He was Skylar Thompson's go-to guy in preseason 3 years ago. But now, this is his 4th year. And he's not progressed. So, I might be out on the Eric Ezukama train right now. I think I'm out on it. Tackle, Ryan Hayes. Wide receiver, A.J. Henning. Defensive tackle, Alex Huntley. Linebacker, Daquan Jackson. Linebacker, Muhammad Kamara. Offensive lineman, Jalen McKenzie. Linebacker. Now, these next 3 names that I'm about to name, I hope the Dolphins get them on the practice squad, and then they can be like on the 53-man roster on game days if they have to be, because these are good players, and 2 of these guys really showed out in preseason. Linebacker, Derek McClendon. He was awesome in preseason. Want to see him back on the Dolphins. Safety, Patrick McMorris. Jordan Colbert over Pat McMorris is a choice. That is certainly a choice in my opinion. McMorris was a 5th-round pick. Last year, Jordan Colbert was an undrafted free agent. So that was a really bold choice from the Dolphins. Linebacker, Grayson Murphy. I thought for sure when they announced McClendon was being waived that Grayson Murphy was going to make the 53-man roster. But nope. The only other edge rusher that made the 53-man roster besides the big 4 was Cameron Good. That's it. And he's on the roster for special teams purposes. So Grayson Murphy, offensive lineman Josh Preby, cornerback Ethan Robinson, who made the game-winning interception against the Lions in preseason, tight end Hayden Rucci, safety John Saunders Jr., who made the game-winning interception against Jacksonville on Saturday night, running back Aaron Shamplin, defensive tackle Ben Still, linebacker Channing Tindall. He never panned out. Never. 3rd-round pick in 2022. Never good. Was never good. Wide receiver Theo Weiss Jr. Him and Quinn Ewers had something in that preseason game. That Lions game, they were on point. They had tremendous chemistry together. And Theo Weiss has potential, and I do think he would get picked up by another team. Offensive lineman Addison West. And then waived/injured tackle Byron Matos. And waived/injured linebacker Eugene Asante. We might as well go through the injuries now. Additionally, the Dolphins moved offensive lineman Liam Meikenberg to the reserve/physically unable to perform list and placed offensive lineman Andrew Meyer and kicker Jason Sanders on the injured reserve list. We might as well talk about that right now. So, the team listed Meyer and Sanders as designated for return. So, we might as well talk about Jason Sanders right now. To people that are saying that this is not a big deal, it's a kicker, it is a big deal that he's hurt. First of all, this team can't even tell the truth when it comes to injuries. You got Mike McDaniel on the presser saying that it shouldn't be that big of a deal. We think he is going to be ready for week 1 against the Colts. And then it was revealed yesterday that it's a hip injury, and he's out 4 to 5 weeks. And now we need a kicker. And this is a big deal because Jason Sanders is a top 10 kicker in the NFL. No question. He was clutch last year. You go back to the 52-yard field goal against Jacksonville to win the game, the 3 field goals against the Patriots in Week 5, and he had a lot of clutch moments last year. The fourth quarter against the Rams on Monday Night Football, he made a big kick. What game was it? The Jets game to tie it and go to overtime. He made 3 field goals in that game to go to overtime. Another one is that game against San Francisco last year, 5 field goals. And his best performance ever was 2 years ago against the Cowboys when he made 5 field. He was our offense that day. We scored 22 points against the Dallas Cowboys 2 years ago to clinch the playoffs. Jason Sanders accumulated 15 of those points. He is money. And when we need Jason Sanders in a big situation to make a kick, he's there. And he does that. And now, I have no idea what happened on Saturday night. But now he's hurt. And he can't kick for us for 4 weeks. So today, the Dolphins worked out Riley Patterson, which, according to in-team sources, they really liked what they saw from him today. So it sounds like Riley Patterson could be the kicker on this team. But they worked out Riley Patterson, Greg Joseph, Zane Gonzalez, and Eddie Pinheiro. If I'm being honest with you, they're probably going to sign Riley Patterson, but it is a kicker. As long as they can come in here and make kicks, that's literally their job. Okay? They're not coming in and they have to learn a whole offensive playbook or they have to learn a defensive playbook, and it's going to take them weeks to know the system. Their job is going to come in here and make kicks to win us games, score points. That's their job. And to build chemistry with Jake Bailey. That's all they have to do in practice is kick the ball and build that chemistry with the punter. That's it. So, I don't know who they're going to sign. I'm guessing they're going to sign Riley Patterson probably tomorrow or Thursday. And, try not to sweat over it. So, okay. Now, we're going to talk about the initial 53-man roster for the Dolphins, okay? The key word is initial. Because on this list, Rasul Douglas is not on the roster. And he just got signed today to be a starting corner on this team. So he's going to be on the 53-man roster. They've yet to sign a kicker because, like we just talked about for 5 minutes, Jason Sanders is hurt. So whatever kicker they sign, he's going to be on the 53-man roster. So not all these names are going to be on the roster. Some of them are probably going to have to go on the practice squad. And I can guess just looking at the roster. And they're both on defense. So we are going to go through the whole 53-man roster. We're going to start with the offense first. Your quarterbacks are Tua Tagovailoa, Zach Wilson, and Quinn Ewers. No surprises there. Your running back, fullback room. Devon Achane, Ollie Gordon, Jalen Wright. He's another one who's hurt, who's going to be out a couple weeks with a leg injury. And Alec Ingold. I think that they're going to add another running back some point this week. And A lot of people aren't up for it. I am. Jeff Wilson knows this offense already, guys. I'm just saying. You can sign him and plug him right into the offense whenever you need him to. But we are going to need an extra running back because I don't think 3 running backs are enough. But that's your running back, fullback room. Your wide receivers. The Dolphins carried 6 wide receivers. Your obvious ones, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Top 5 wide receiver duo in the NFL. So along with them, you got Nick Westbrook-Akine, Malik Washington. I think he's going to have himself a bigger role in the offense this year. D. Eskridge, more than likely your kickoff and punt returner, and Taj Washington. So that is your wide receivers. I love it. Way better than last year. I remember they only brought in like 4 receivers last year. And like that was kind of strange. Very strange last year. And then we're going to move on to tight ends. Darren Waller, Julian Hill, and Tanner Connor. And yes, they brung Darren Waller out of retirement, but I'm telling you guys right now, Julian Hill is tight end 1 on this team. You might not like it, but that's what this team is going to go with. That's absolutely what they're going with. Your offensive linemen, you have Patrick Paul, Jonah Savanea. That was me. Sorry, guys. We have Patrick Paul, Jonah Savanea, Aaron Brewer, James Daniels, and Austin Jackson, who is hopefully back by week 1. And then your backup offensive linemen have Larry Borum, Daniel Brunskill, and Keon Smith. My goodness. I don't like what I'm seeing. That's why I'm laughing right now. I don't like what I'm seeing with those backups. They need to get somebody who is a veteran and is a good, solid backup. I don't like what I'm seeing with that. Then we have the defense. And your defensive tackle, Zeke Biggers, Matthew Butler, Kenneth Grant, Benito Jones, Jordan Phillips, and Zach Sealer. Linebacker, you have KJ Britt, Jordan Brooks, Bradley Chubb, Terrell Dotson, Willie Gay, Cameron Good, Matthew Judon, Jalen Phillips, and Chop Robinson. Your corners. Cornerback. We have Ethan Bonner, who's hurt. Storm Duck, Isaiah Johnson, Jack Jones, Jason Marshall Jr., and good old Cam Smith. I'm kind of shocked he made the roster. But I'm telling you, they are going to need a spot for Rasul Douglas. I think Isaiah Johnson, he's going to the practice squad for now. And then your safety room is Elijah Campbell, Jordan Colbert. They're going to need a kicker on this 53-man roster. So I think they send Jordan Colbert down to the practice squad. Ashton Davis, who's hurt. Minka Fitzpatrick, Ifatu Melifanu, and Dante Trader Jr. And then special teams, we have Jake Bailey and long snapper Joe Cardona. So that is your 2025 Miami Dolphins. So there's more work to be done. I think that they have to get a kicker. That's a given. I think another running back would be nice. And I think another offensive lineman would be nice because Larry Bourne being your top backup offensive lineman is fucking scary. It's really scary. And especially, we need Austin Jackson. We cannot have... I don't want Austin Jackson to be the new Teron Armstead. And what I mean by that is we're questioning every single week whether or not Teron Armstead is going to play. I don't want that to be the case for Austin Jackson because I'm telling you guys right now, I'm willing to bet money with this. We're not going to know the status of Austin Jackson until an hour and a half before the Colts game. He will be questionable going into that game, and we'll know last minute whether or not he plays. I'm telling you that's going to be the case. It's going to happen with Achane too. We're not going to know whether or not Devon Achane plays that game until they drop the inactives. So that is your initial 53-man roster, the players they cut. I mean, everybody that's on the roster now, they're not guaranteed to be on the roster tomorrow. So, and then the situation with Jason Sanders, it sucks, but the Dolphins are going to need to go out there, and they're going to need to get themselves a new kicker. So, that's all I got for you guys, man. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe to the Big Fight Fuel channel. Football season is here. And next week, I don't know what other videos we're going to have this week, but next week, my schedule's already locked in. Monday on the Big Fight Fuel channel, season preview of the Miami Dolphins. We are going to go over the biggest needs for the season in this, I'm calling it Last Dance. The last dance for the Miami Dolphins. We're going to preview the season. We're going to go through every game. It's not a record prediction, but we're just going to go through every game on the schedule. So we have that on Monday. Wednesday, week 1 predictions. Friday is the preview for the Dolphins Colts, and Sunday is the post-game recap. So comment, subscribe, hit the like button, follow me on Twitter, Colin_Joseph, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, stay safe, and as always, stay classy, and go Dolphins.